This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
Hi, Top Shop Podcast listeners. We've got another great guest with over 10 years experience. As some of you know, or may not know, we have a criteria on Top Shop Podcast of 10 years. My wife is the one that came up with it. There's 100 and some thousand independent shop owners, and how are we going to choose who to have on the show? And she said 10 years. 80% of shops that start from scratch don't make it to their fifth year, and of that 20%, another 80% of those don't make it through their next 5 years to 10th years. Now, Kelly and Danny Crawford, they opened a closed shop. It was closed for about a year. They only had it with the old name for a couple of months, and they immediately rebranded to Auto Shop, or The Auto Shop, and have been there for 16 straight years. So congratulations. That's quite a long time. So the first question I always like to ask is, how'd you get here? So you just didn't wake up one day and we're auto repair shop owners. So tell us a little bit about the journey, because it is very unique with each guest that we have.
Okay, sure. Well, I think we're in the business because of me.
Okay.
Been around the automotive business my whole life. Grew up in a gas station where we pumped gas and worked on cars. Throughout my career, I've been to a Lincoln Mercury dealership as a technician, transmission guy. And then I went to a Honda dealership, became service advisor there, and became service manager at that car dealership. Did that for about 15 years. We even opened up a single point Hyundai store. I didn't like Saturdays. I'd spent too many years at a gas station on Saturdays. So,
right, yeah.
And through, the 2008 recession, I just felt an urge to get back into the independent world. So went to the bank with a business plan, didn't have enough money. A couple years later, a friend of mine that owned a body shop told me about this other shop that would close down. So he helped us get into business. And it was me, myself, and I for the first few months.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just decided that you were going to open a shop, and a friend of yours told you about this one that had been closed, right?
Right.
So the infrastructure was there. I'm sure you had to do a little paint and paper.
Had to do lots of paint and paper.
I was pretty gross.
Lots of, it wasn't. Usually they are, so because they're an older person owned them, and they just kind of slowly over the years let things slide. And then, so usually when someone takes over a shop that's been around a while, they've got to gut it and, and then redo it and make it really, really up to date looking. So it's a big it's a website and curb appeal on the street. You don't get a second chance at a first impression. So it's really, really important, and especially for women. That lobby's got to be super clean. The bathrooms need to be clean. Preferably, a lot of shops are focusing on getting a female CSR. At the front, and most of them that do tell me that their appointments with females go up because women, tend to feel more comfortable and trust women more. Do you guys have so what are your individual roles? Like usually when it's husband and wife like this, she runs the business. You take care of the back end. Is that how it works with you guys?
Well, when we first started the business, I had a whole different life. I did environmental health and safety for a company that had factories nationwide.
Oh, I see.
And so for the first 5 years, I kind of supported our family while we got this off the ground. And then I became a service advisor. And Danny said, well, if we're going to manage this and we're going to run this, we need to know like how it feels or what it's like to be a service advisor. So I learned that job, did really well at that. So about now, both of us are out of the business, out of the day-to-day, and we're working on the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That means you have a coach.
Yes, we do have a coaching company. That's very important.
No
matter who it is. Yeah.
Yep. So we advocate to any of our customers that do not have a coach, In fact, I just had an idea. If I can get all the clips from my podcasts on coaching.
That would be cool.
Well, I just talked to a guy. Yeah, I just talked to a guy who I did a podcast last month. So, and he said, yeah, 20 years. What do we need a coach for? I've been running an auto repair shop for 20 years. I know how to run a shop. He got a coach, Institute for Excellence, doubled his revenues in 12 months.
Yeah.
And after 20 years, he goes, I didn't know what I didn't know. All this, all the numbers and the labor rates and effective labor rate and and having an account for this and account for that and account for this, so all the money goes automatically into those. How long have you guys had a coaching company?
I think since 18 or 19.
2019. Yeah.
Oh, a long time. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Wish we would have had one to start with, to be honest with you, though.
Yeah, we would be a lot further.
Yeah.
Every owner that I talk to that has hired a coach, that's what they say. Or one of the last questions I always ask in these podcasts is, what one tip would you give to a new owner? And they say, get a coach.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
So I already know the answer to that question before I even go there. So you guys have had this for 16 years. How old were the kids? Do you have kids?
Yes.
How old were the kids 16 years ago?
7 and 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
7 and 10.
Yeah.
The reason I ask, work-life balance.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you started, because man, when you first start, you got to burn the midnight oil sometimes. So, and work-life integration. I don't think it's talked about a lot. Maybe your coaching company may have talked to you about it, but it's an important part of a successful business is having a successful life, and having a successful life is having a successful home life. So, any tips for any shop owners that, have a wife and young kids and, they got soccer practice and all that other stuff and ballet and any tips for work-life balance that you think somebody that might help somebody else?
I think in the beginning, if you could set up boundaries, like, if we are going to talk about work at home, it's going to be, you got to stop at a certain time of night and call it done. And it's extremely hard. That's probably one thing that ought to be talked about more in our industry is that.
Yeah. Well, me and my wife is the same way. So, but what I'm hearing is the answer I hear the most: lines in the sand.
Yeah.
So that was my wife. When we wake up in the morning, don't ask me about business. Don't ask me about that, interview with that potential person. No, nope, can't do that. 7 o'clock, game on. 7 in the morning. From then on, you can, but not in the morning when we first get up. We can talk about personal things and drink our coffee and do whatever. But so anyway, we have the same struggle. I believe any married couple that works together in a business is going to have some debates, so, and great communication, and then specific lines. So like, would you set a certain time every day that after this particular time that's it? We didn't talk shop, or
We try. It doesn't work all
That's
the
a good
time.
one.
Yeah.
We try.
we tried to, yeah. So
And sometimes we'll be like, okay, I just have one question. I
right.
really need to know the answer to this, and I promise I won't ask anymore. And we're like, okay, that's fine. And then at least then it gets everything off your mind for the night. So we do have bogeys or whatever you want to call them, where we're like, I'm just really thinking through, because we are entrepreneurs, so we do think all the time. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is a hazard to the job.
Sometimes, we can ask, can I stay in the parking lot? If it's really got your mind busy, it
Mhm.
can. So we just have to be honest. Like, no, we need to talk about it now. So,
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So, Danny, what was going out and, putting it all on the line and getting financing and opening this, that's a big jump. What was your major motivation in that? Was it to, work for yourself, or
it was
freedom?
work for myself, provide for the community, really, and give employees an opportunity maybe that I didn't have in my career path.
Okay.
And we would like to have another shop. It's always been our vision to have multiple locations, just so our
Okay.
employees can have an opportunity and we can service our community better.
Although Danny was running two dealerships in our town, he still had to do
Ooh.
what the
Well,
dealer principal was wanting him to do. And we wanted control of that, what we charge and how we service and, all those things.
so Danny, running a large corporation, a big business doing major volume, that's not new to you. You were
Yeah.
managing two dealerships. So
Yeah.
okay. That
We'd work on as many cars that our company goes through 1 week. We would cycle through 1 day at the Honda dealer.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So,
But it's the bank. When you went to the bank, the one of the main things they're looking for, what sort of management experience do you have? So they already saw that you were running these two
yeah,
dealerships, and they were like, "Oh yeah, yeah, okay, sure. Here's the money. Go ahead." Yeah.
it is. I do find it entertaining. The first time I went to the bank and I had my formulas on gross profit, number of cars, hours per repair work, all of that in a business plan, for managing a shop. And the banker says, "Well, what about your cash flow plan?" Well, okay, I gotta go and do some research.
Right. Back to
Yeah.
the drawing board, right?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so you took that leap of faith, and obviously Kelly supported you because it takes, emotional support as well as financial support to, to get a business running. Speaking of financials, I'll skip down my questions and go to that one right away. There's no shop's going to make it 15, 16 years, let alone 2 or 3 or 5, without a good financial plan and strategy. Any tips to help other shop owners budget properly and plan. So, 5, 10, 15 years later, they're still in business too. And any tips on that?
Uh, Read the book Profit First and implement it immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just,
Charge for the value that you bring to the industry and what you need to stay open 5 to 10 years from now. A lot of people are afraid to charge a certain amount, but you have to charge what you need to charge so that you can be there to supply these warranties and to service your communities long down the road too. So it's
right,
all
right.
about pricing right too. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, a lot of it has to do with pricing, and I think a lot of shop owners. I've talked to a lot of shop owners that made that mistake in the beginning, where they
Yeah.
did the price war thing, and then they would get a coaching company, and the coaching company would say, "Nope, you want to have it predominantly, on your website and digital presence. Hey, there are cheaper shops in town, but we're ASC certified. We offer this warranty, and there's all those reasons right there in front of the consumer why they would want to choose you. And then you don't have to apologize for your price. You say, yeah, there are cheaper places in town, but you usually get what you pay for, and this is what we charge. And I guess you guys have already been down that road, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you draw the line in the sand there, you get rid of the customers that you don't want. They go to your competitors, thank goodness. And then you get the customers that will stay. So what major changes have you seen in the last 5 or 10 years that is really reshaping the auto repair industry? What do you think the most predominant one or ones are?
I think really probably since COVID, that affected all of our shops because people didn't drive as much. So
Right.
we're seeing fewer cars per year.
Oh, you are. Right. Yeah.
Well, fewer visits per car. Let me rephrase
Right.
it. Fewer
Yeah. Yeah.
visits per car per year. Um, that's something that's changed. I mean, we could spend a couple of days talking about technology and only cover 25% of the technology the
Right.
cars
Right.
have
Right.
today,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But but you're right. It did change a lot of things, especially with our customers and how we service them. So now we go pick up their cars. Now we do all kinds of extra things. We had our entire team read Unreasonable Hospitality.
Hmm.
And that's about 1+1 service, like giving them what they need and their need at that time. And it may look different for every single customer. And they have a budget to make that happen, things like that. But they're really good about making sure our customers don't feel like a transaction. They feel like their family and they have a plan when they leave there on how to maintain their car.
Okay.
With COVID, I feel like we got some really positive processes through COVID. One is we didn't, no, we got rid of waiting customers, waiting clients. So we have very few of those today. So we've got processes in place to pick up the car, take them home. It gives a better opportunity to look over the vehicle, and there's not pressure on our employees, or there's no pressure on the client when they're all in the waiting room.
Right. Yeah.
Even as simple as a parts delivery drop-off process with COVID has helped streamline that whole process through the shop, where there's no verbal communication anymore on parts,
Right.
which is good.
So that's got to be a really big differentiator between you and other shops. You actually will go and pick the customer's car up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have a courtesy vehicle too to give them rides and pick up.
However they want to do it. Yeah. It's really helpful with moms with a bunch of car seats. Like nobody wants to redo all their car seats. So we're like, hey, just tell us when it's a good time. We'll come pick it up. And usually 4 hour window, we'll have the car. So, and usually, kids are napping, or as long as we get the car back to by school time, it's fine.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Napping in school or whatever, then you get the car back. And okay, that's awesome. That's a big differentiator for you guys. So um, did you have early morning drop off, late afternoon pickup, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we have a lockbox, and it has like digital codes, and they can pick up and drop off. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's crucial. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So all those differentiators help, help the customer choose your shop over, another shop. So what were in the, I don't know, I'm going to say probably the beginning, because that's usually when it's rougher. What were the biggest challenges that you guys had when you first got started, and how did you overcome them? What was the biggest challenge? Was it getting in business? Was it getting in techs? Was it, yeah.
I feel like we started growing fairly fast, and I didn't realize growth costs a lot of money. You'd think, oh, we're growing, you're making money, it's easy to spend it. Well, yeah, it's easy to spend. That was a challenge. Probably technology too. I was 15 years service director, manager at a car dealership, so I was out working on cars and really only knew 2 car lines. So I had training classes, lab scopes. You know what I mean? There's a lot of technology catch up that I gave myself.
Yeah, because you were really skilled at these 2 particular brands, and you were like, "Oh, what's this?" So you had a little bit of a learning curve, right? Yeah,
right.
Getting started, working on all the different brands that you're working
yes.
on. I know this is just conjecture, but do you have any idea where do you think the market's going to go? I mean, we've been sold the Green Deal, and I say it in almost every podcast. It's not trees and grass; it's the Green Deal. So. I don't think that not sure where it's going to go. I just know that the EVs are an ecological disaster because the amount of resources it takes to put one on the lot. They say that just to put a Tesla on the lot, they've already eaten up more carbon, put more carbon in the atmosphere than an internal combustion engine over 100,000 miles on the car. And then we have the batteries to deal with. So, and I've heard a lot of answers to this. New battery technology, solid state, more hybrids because all the infrastructure's here. I hear hydrogen, which is what I'm personally behind. Drinkable water comes out of the tailpipe. That's about as green as you can get. Any idea where you think it might go in the next 10 or 20 years? Any conjecture on that?
I don't know. I really don't. Hopefully they pull some of the limits off of emissions and fuel economy, because these ICE engines just aren't holding up, in my opinion. They're just not. So, yeah, I don't know. It needs to change, because I feel like maybe in the late 90s, early 2000s, cars will last 200, 300,000 miles, and today you're 150 maybe if you're lucky.
Yeah, we live in a very disposable society, and all the manufacturers are purposely building in what do they call that? I forgot the term. It's where they know something's going to break at a certain time, and
so they can sell another car.
I'm sorry, planned obsolescence.
Obsolescence, yeah.
Okay.
Furniture, everything. It used to be you would buy a coffee table and it was solid wood and it would last 150 years. Now they're made out of press board and they fall apart after 10 years because they're made to do that. So
Yeah.
and yeah, and then they're moving that towards the automotive industry. So so what do you think is going to happen with that? Do you think we're going to get a revolt from the public and um
That's a great question. Yeah, it could go either way, right?
right,
I'm
right.
hearing that maybe the DEF on diesels will be, going backwards. I don't know if that's true or not, but
Hmm.
so yeah, I'm not for sure.
It could be a cost savings to the customers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I've heard rumors that some of the manufacturers for like body control access, HVAC, radio, windows are putting in a different scan tool connector, or they're trying to, because right now it's a federal emissions law that we can access a car's
oh,
computer.
hmm.
And I've heard that they're trying to do things like that. So hopefully that, that doesn't happen, because in my opinion, then the owner of that car is a product. They don't own the vehicle. You know what I mean? You're a product, not an
Yeah,
owner.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I try to explain to the few young people that cross my paths that walk around like this all day long. You are the product. That's why it's free. So anyway, what's any strategies that you found that are really good for helping to retain, loyal customers?
We feel like we're in a customer relationship business. I mean, we fix cars, but if we're in
That's
a
a good
customer
attitude.
relationship
We're
business,
customer.
and and then right after that, we're going to say we're a training company. So we're
Okay.
training ourselves, we're training our clients.
We
And
do
then,
do we do do a couple marketing things like the Four Seasons card. It's
okay.
very effective.
Hmm.
We also have a CRM, Kukui, that we use, and we things like that. So
Right, right, yeah. How do you handle, do you have a policy for handling difficult customers or complaints besides just getting rid of them?
our service advisors do have a budget. We call it customer goodwill,
Okay,
and it's to make things right with our customers. And so they have that ability to do it without even asking us. And
okay.
if it's something bigger, they'll call us,
Hmm.
and we'll make it right for those customers because they understand that it's a relationship, and they know a lot of people, and a lot of people have access to a lot of other people with the internet. So
Right,
you just
right.
try to please
Yeah.
please as many as you can.
I don't feel like we don't have, when you're transparent, we do digital inspections. We don't spend our clients' money without their permission. We tell them that.
Hmm.
And when we run into things as we work on the job, you can take pictures and videos, send it to
Hmm.
them. And just when you have that kind of relationship, it makes things easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God for DVIs. DVIs
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
really talk about upping the trust level with the independent repair shop DVIs. In fact, there's been a shift in the last, I believe, over 10 years now, or around 10 years, but surveys are telling us that the distrust is more, it used to be the opposite. It used to be the independent car shop.
Mm.
And then people trusted the dealers. That's turning around because of reviews. So Google reviews is changed. It's changed a lot of businesses. A lot of people that didn't care. They were gone because people would go on Google and leave bad reviews, and those businesses went out of business. They put themselves out of business. Which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
You
It's very powerful.
yeah, but there has been, have you been aware of that? There's been a shift where there's more trust because I can go in and I know your CSR. I can talk to the mechanic that's working on my car, unlike a dealer, it's very,
Right.
I
hand.
can call and immediately talk to someone. That's a big
Mhm.
thing that we hear from customers. Like they cannot
Oh,
stand punching numbers and getting voicemails. Like it's important that they get right to
Well,
us.
even AI, we've got one of the dealerships
Yeah.
has AI answering the phone.
just what we need, right? So you call the bank or whatever, you've got to do battle with the computer to get through to someone that talks. I don't think that's going to get any better in the near future. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's one way we differentiate ourselves for sure.
Right, yeah.
We could put an auto attendant in too, but it's just not our style.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Okay. Um, So, difficult customer complaints. You have already trained the CSRs. They have free latitude to do what they need to do without, recourse from you guys. Hey, this is what happened. I needed to fix it. Even if you thought it should have been fixed different, you leave that to them. So you've really made the transition, is what I'm hearing, because I'm there myself. I am working so hard to be able to I can get to the point to where I can work on my business all day long and not in it. And you guys have made that transition. And I tell you, I'm not sure. I wish I had a number of the percentage of shop owners that own their shop. Well, I don't think it's very high.
Right.
Where, you guys look at certain numbers every single month, what's going on. So, let's talk about techs. That's the hot topic. We got a massive, a tech shortage. Any tips on finding, hiring, and retaining good technicians?
I'll let you go first.
Well, let me go first. And, she said environmental health and safety earlier. She's got an HR background. She's my secret weapon, right?
Oh, okay.
So,
Well,
to be transparent, when we first started, I would find out what you could do on a car. Can you replace a timing belt? Do you do, what's your skill level?
Right.
Today, we ask very, very few questions about how they can fix a car. It's all about the culture.
Mm-hmm.
That person. We feel like we can teach the skill if you have somebody wanting to learn.
Right. Okay. Yep. So I would imagine your interview process has a lot to do with character, attitude, and core values, because that's the fourth interview that we installed 2 years ago. And it's hard to kick them to the curb after they went through all that work to get them to that fourth interview. But we've already learned the hard way. If they don't pass that interview, even though they've got the skills and everything else, we can't hire them because we've already done it in the past. Well, let's just give them a try anyway. No, 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 no. Just listen to your,
yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Like,
No.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, Kelly really kind of implemented this process. So if they pass her interview test, and then the manager and myself will all three interview
Mhm.
that candidate. If that candidate passes us, then they interview with every employee in the shop.
Really?
Every employee's got to say yes.
Because it's a team culture.
It's a team culture. What we found out in the past that we've hired candidates, and then a couple weeks later, one of the other employees says, "Well, I can't believe they hired so and so. We knew that would never work out." Those employees don't work for us anymore. That was part of our problem.
Yeah.
So it kind of fixes two things.
Yeah.
Well, my next question is on shop culture. And you just gave me a very important tip, and I haven't heard that one yet. So when you go to hire somebody, Kelly's going to interview him first. Brian Tracy, who I took his course a long time ago, how to hire and how to fire. And he said, I just remember this was 20 years ago, I took that course, but he said you interview in three different areas, you know, and with at least three different people, and one of them needs to be a female
Yep.
because they have an intuition that men don't. And that's actually proven, by research. So the interviews can go well, but then that third person might be the woman on staff that's going to take and talk to them. And a lot of times in that second and third interview, the first one, a lot of people shine because they're selling themselves, right? So that third one. So you guys sound like you have a great system, but I want to talk about shop culture because I mean, like 20 years ago when. Or even how old am I? 63. Maybe it was longer than that. Okay. You mentioned culture in a shop. It's like what? Nowadays it's really it's primary. It's important. And you just gave me and everybody listening a great tip on how to maintain shop culture. So when the other employees interview this person, do they have a set of questions that they ask, or did?
Good question. That's a good question.
Okay.
So we also not only do they get interviewed, but they get interviewed with certain questions, and the questions come from it's called Genos, but it's an emotional test, emotional intelligence test.
Okay.
Assessment. Sorry.
Okay.
And so it assesses like things like, can they accept feedback? Can they work well with others? And these are all the things that the values that we look for.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's a technician, then we'll bring them on for a whole day. We'll give them $100 gift card and we'll ask them to come and work the entire day with our technicians. And so
Mm-hmm.
we can evaluate whether they actually know what they said they know while they're working on a car. Okay, tell me what you know about AC. What's your first step if this is the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll actually test them out there on the shop floor that entire day. It's pretty, and we have lunch and we all talk to them and get to know them a little bit better. It's like the new brother-in-law. So, you
Okay.
gotta make
Yeah.
sure they fit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that was key for us too, is making sure we asked the exact same questions, especially like in that character. I call it my CAC interview, character, attitude, core value. So though we asked the exact same questions, and I have a lot of different positions, 18 different positions that we have to hire for to make the wheels turn.
Yes.
So there's a specific set of questions for each in the first, second, and third interview. So I wanted to mention that to other shop owners. Yeah, don't let you have to have a set system with the scoring. And if you don't ask the exact same questions to each person, then you're all over the place. So you guys have already figured that out. Well, you have an HR for a wife, so that
That helps.
that helps you just a little
Yeah.
bit,
Right.
That really was a game changer for us. We started hiring better,
Yeah.
and then it got a little easier because then you weren't having the turnover. So it really did help us.
Okay. Oh, just for my personal use, what's that? Because we do disc assessment and we do a Colby
Yeah, that's great
assessment.
too.
Yeah,
This one actually measures emotional intelligence. It's called
yeah,
GENOS, GENOS.
GENOS,
Mm-hmm,
emotional intelligence.
mm-hmm.
And when they do score low in one area, the questions that our employees can ask, they can ask some questions. What happens when the coworker beside you starts yelling and throwing a wrench at the wall, or whatever question it might be, to
Sure.
get a response. So yeah.
Yep, Genos International. Cool. All right, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm going to send that to my HR department. Um, so let's go back to the core values again. So that's a fantastic one to make sure that you get people that fit. That's a great idea. Um, Instead of just having management or team leaders interview, everybody interviews. So how many people do you have in the shop altogether?
We know.
5 in the shop.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Five in the back, two in the front.
Yeah, most shops are like 4 to 7, so when you have a small, tight-knit culture like that, that's a phenomenal idea. Yeah.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Does help.
So for um but anything else that you do for culture? Do you guys have a weekly lunch? Do you do things off-site? Do you do any of that stuff?
Oh yeah, we do all of that.
So they have team huddles probably 3 times a week in the morning for 15 minutes. We have a leadership team, so we have a leadership meeting at lunch every Tuesday.
Got it.
We have a store meeting every Thursday at lunch, and
Right.
the store meeting can either talk about store processes, or our shop team leader might have a small training session for the
Okay.
other techs.
Yeah.
Uh, I do one-on-ones at least once a month with each employee, or our manager does them every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. But you guys
One-on-one.
personally do a one-on-one.
I personally do a one-on-one. And
That's smart.
what I
Like, to try to
yeah.
kill it, nip anything in the bud. Yeah.
Well, it's not a performance review. I mean,
Right.
we'll go over, how are they doing on their ASCs, or if a goal, it's really their goal. If we have a technician, a B tech that's trying to be an A tech, he's trying to move from 35 hours a week to 45, or lab scope training, or whatever the case may be.
Right.
What I find out, Paul, if you're one of my employees, we're doing a one-on-one, usually, the house and the family and the kids and all that are down. It's like, okay, Paul, we got one square left. What are you going to do?
Right.
Well,
Okay.
I'm taking care of my family. That's good enough for me. No, you know what I mean? So it is kind of fun, and they appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah. That's different. I haven't heard that one before. So I've heard the outings. So where do you guys go? Do you go like out to bowling, or do you do stuff
We
like
do.
that?
We haven't done bowling, but we do all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of gun advocates in our group.
Oh.
We do a lot of we're part of a shooting club, so we'll go there and
Okay.
spend the day and barbecue. We have done go-karts and
Cave tours.
yeah, who knew?
Okay.
In August we went to a
Right.
cave tour. That was nice. So
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
we actually have a list of things going, and we actually let them choose the next thing. So
Oh, no kidding.
that
That's a
way,
great idea.
yeah, that way we're not like having them do stuff they don't want to do.
It is a quarterly outing. We usually close the shop 2 or 3 o'clock that afternoon, and then
Yep.
get everybody back home to their cars by 7:30, 8 o'clock that night.
Okay.
Going by lunch, and I think the next one they want to do frisbee golf. I think is the next one that we're on.
Frisbee golf. Okay.
Yeah, when the
All
weather
right.
turns good, it's kind of cold now.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that's awesome. You've given some great tips over and above what I normally hear. So that's really good. It really is. So, to, any of a shop owner, that feels that they don't have good culture, listen to the podcast that we do, because I ask that question in every podcast and I've got some incredibly great answers. So, doing these things aren't an expense. It's an investment in the staff. And every shop that I've asked that question to that does outings, they have a weekly lunch or every other week lunch. You guys make sure that when you bring someone new on the staff, it's not you at the top. I'm going to choose this person. You're going to work with that person. No, it's a team collaboration and effort. So those are great advice. Um, did I ask the future outlook one yet? Where do we think we're going in the next 5 or 10 years? Did I ask
No,
that?
not yet.
Not yet.
Let me
We
ask that
want to
one.
have another. Okay.
Oh, you want us to go?
Yeah. I mean, I know it's just conjecture, but where do you think we're going in the next 10,
As
20
far
years?
as the industry,
Yeah, I mean, are we going to be a different battery type technology, more hybrids, a totally different type of battery
right.
besides what we have now, which are an ecological disaster. Hydrogen, what else do we got?
That's a good question. I did
Solar
watch a little
powered
bit of
cars.
yeah, I did watch a little bit of the CES show, Consumer Electronics Show on YouTube. I think there is some solid state batteries coming out for like e-bicycles.
Yes. Yeah.
That charge fast. I suppose if they get that with cars, that might be a huge boost. I kind of like the mild hybrid systems that some of the European cars have. Let's
Mhm.
get it back down to under 100 volts. It's a
Right.
lot safer, in my opinion.
Right.
It's a big safety thing. And the expense that comes with it, for a shop owner is crazy. All the safety equipment has to be certified. But as far as the industry, I don't know. I feel like I just really don't know. Man, it could go either way. I don't see how the consumers are going to afford if the cars get more technical. The
Oh, the
price,
consumer. Yeah. Us. Yeah.
the consumer, what I mean? You're going to have an insurance on car repairs instead of body damage. A better one than we have now,
You just gave me another business idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is getting insane. I bought a vehicle and then within always right as soon as you buy it, right? So within 2 weeks, a woman in a dually pulls off to the right. I'm on a 2-lane road with double yellow, and I look down for a second and look up. I'm looking at the side of a dually. Hang on a U-turn.
Oh my gosh.
So a little damage to the right rear front of my car. When Greg at Northwest Collision, who's a customer of mine, when he told me how much the headlight cost, I'm like, no way. And he showed me the invoice, $5,500 for a headlight.
Yeah, our consumers can't keep it's
Right.
like only the rich people are going to be able to drive if we keep this up. So
And I'm thinking, okay, my first car was a 1971 Cougar, canary yellow with a black interior. Ooh, that I love. 351 Cleveland in it.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice, yeah, great
Yeah.
engine, man. And I could go to Zayre's and for a quarter buy a side marker bulb and replace it. Now they want $5,500 for a headlight. Yeah, so it has gotten ridiculous, which is why it's affecting car sales. Not everybody has $1,000 a month for a car payment. So the average age of the car is going up, which is great for auto repair shops. That's what we do. We fix cars, that are preferably out of warranty. My camera's not thing. So, what do you enjoy most about running an auto repair shop?
Right now, I'm really enjoying the techs learning how to diagnose serial decode CAN bus, all this high tech stuff, and and I can do some of it, but they're really taking it and going forward with that. I love our front end staff being able to have a relationship with the client. Like, we're not going to put Michelin tires on the client's car that only drives 5,000 miles a year. You know what I mean? So, um, one of the three anchors that we have, it's got to be good for the car, good for the client, and good for the shop. And
Okay.
it's got, if it doesn't hit all three of those marks, we don't work on it. And I love that because I've worked for people that take advantage of people, and I don't like that at all. So that's what I like about running the repair business. We can keep families safe. Families taking care of families is one of our mottos. So,
Right.
Yeah, I think that's our favorite part of the job is we can run it, make sure people are taken care of, not
Right.
only the customers, but our technicians have not always been treated well at other places. So our goal, I was like, maybe God really just wants us to keep opening auto repair shops to make sure people have a good environment to work in and
Right.
customers have a safe place they can go and get good information.
Right.
And I think we're really enjoying being owners, working on the business now. I think that's a big win for us. I wish we probably could have done that earlier in our career, but
Yeah.
we live and learn.
well, and maybe my brain wasn't ready. It takes a different mind. It takes a different mindset to be an owner than an operator.
Right. Yes, it does. It takes a totally different mindset. And a
Yeah.
lot of techs that open a shop, they're totally unprepared for what they're about to get themselves into because they haven't done the haven't done the research on what it's going to take to run a successful business. So, and then a lot of them can be stubborn and hard-headed. Oh, I don't need a coach to tell me how to help run things. I know how to run a repair shop. So, but anyway, the smartest people in our society. I'll finish with this is scientists. And why do we say they are the smartest people in our society? Because they always say, I don't know, let's check. So
Your money and I'll find out.
right. Yeah. So you guys, are you going back to Vision this year?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
We're taking our whole team. This will
Okay.
be probably our fourth or fifth year we've taken our whole team. We
Okay.
shut the shop down for 2 days. We take them out a couple of nights and have a lot of fun with them. We always do some kind of fun event. That's kind of just it's just what they all look forward to it. They all love to learn. It's just when you hire the right people, things seem to work a little better.
Yeah, it makes life a
Yeah.
whole lot easier. Yep. My wife and I had to learn that lesson the hard way the first couple of years we started. Anyway, I do appreciate very much your time to be on the podcast. And I look forward to seeing you at Vision. And anybody who doesn't know what Vision, it's Vision KC, I think it's .org. All right. And it's Milwaukee, the Midwest Auto Care Alliance. It is the largest and best trade show. I've been to almost all of them in the United States, in North America. So SEMA's everything. It's a zoo. This is a family-oriented, Christian-oriented. That's why she has it. Sherry has it there in Kansas, not in Vegas. So it's very, very family oriented, and it's the largest of its kind. So about 3,500 attendees, and each year Vision breaks new records. They keep getting more and more because people do what you guys do. They shut the entire shop down and take their techs there. So if a lot of shops, and I hear that, do that, so all you other shop owners listening, check it out. Check out Vision KC. There's also Tools in Pennsylvania. That's MAACA, Mid-Atlantic Auto Care Alliance. And then if you're down in the Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina area, there's ASTA. And ASTA is just went to a trade show this year out of the hotel. They have a new leader and they're doing really good. So they really serve that part of the country really well. So I will see you guys next month in Vision.
We look forward to it. Thanks,
All
Paul.
All right, thanks.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.